The Three Wishes. Once upon a time, there lived a poor woodman named Claus. He lived near a great forest with his wife, Sasha. One day, Claus was just about to chop down a tall oak tree when he heard a small voice.
"Wait! Please don't chop down this tree. It's my home,"
the voice said.
"Who's there?"
Claus replied, looking around for the speaker. Just then, a dazzlingly bright fairy flew down from a notch in the tree. She was so small that she could fit in the palm of his hand. Claus's eyes grew wide with surprise.
"What are you?"
he asked.
"I'm a forest fairy,"
the fairy replied.
"and I was born here. I draw my powers from this tree. We're connected. If you hurt the tree, I'll get hurt too. So please, spare my tree."
Claus nodded his head.
"Okay, don't worry. I'll spare your tree,"
he agreed. The fairy happily flew above his head in circles, painting yellow rings in the sky with fairy dust.
"Oh, thank you! In return, I'll grant you 3 wishes,"
she gleefully replied. Claus smiled and continued working. He chopped down 4 trees that day, but spared the fairy's oak. Claus didn't believe a creature as small as the fairy could really grant wishes, but he wasn't about to be so cruel as to destroy her home. At the end of the day, Claus was tired and hungry. He returned home and sat down at the kitchen table.
"Good evening, husband,"
Sasha said.
"Have you had a good day?"
Claus shrugged his shoulders.
"It wasn't bad,"
he replied. Sasha set a steaming hot bowl of soup in front of him. It was thick, green, and smelled terrible.
"What's this?"
Claus asked, poking the soup with his spoon. It was so thick that he thought he might need a knife to slice it.
"Vegetable soup. Go on, eat up,"
Sasha replied.
"Vegetable soup?"
Claus groaned.
"I wish I could have roast chicken instead."
He had not believed that the fairy could truly grant wishes. However, as soon as he said those words, the soup transformed into a roast chicken.
"Huh, would you look at that?"
Claus replied, wide-eyed in surprise.
"I didn't think she could really do it."
Sasha couldn't believe what had just happened.
"Who could have done this?"
she asked.
"I met a fairy. She granted me 3 wishes,"
Claus explained.
"You wasted a wish on chicken instead of gold?"
Sasha moaned.
"I wish that chicken was growing out of your head."
The wish was granted, and the chicken sprouted from the top of Claus's head. It was alive! It squawked loudly and flapped its wings. The chicken was even more confused than Claus.
"Ah! Get it off!"
Claus cried.
"How?"
Sasha asked. She hadn't realized that her wish would be granted too, and could not see any way to detach the chicken from his head.
"I wish you hadn't done that!"
Claus said. As soon as he spoke, the 3rd and final wish was granted. Once again, Claus had a plate of roast chicken in front of him.
"Want to share it with me?"
he offered. Sasha sighed and helped herself to a chicken leg. They had wasted their wishes, but it was very tasty. The fairy watched the couple through the window and sighed. She'd given them a golden opportunity to improve their lives, but they had wasted all 3 wishes.
Treasure every opportunity and consider carefully before making decisions,
She thought in disappointment. And with that, the fairy was gone.